ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Fight Council meeting. It is Thursday night once again. I am the host and fight director, Paul Atlas. First thing I want to do is I want to thank Boomer Payne for filling in for me last week while I took care of some personal business. Boomer did his best to hold the fort down. Tonight, we're not going to see the normal show. No reveals tonight, no headlock on, no new challengers. I'm going to cut immediately to the chase. I have a small panel with me here tonight, and I want to go over some things that have been going on lately here in Fight Underground. As you know, we came up with the Fight Council as a way to both honor the past of Pittsburgh indie wrestling, as well as try to lift up the future of Pittsburgh indie wrestling. Unfortunately, as you may or may not have seen or noticed lately, there are some faces you haven't seen for a while, some faces you're not going to see anymore. Some personal agendas were starting to be served, unnecessary subjects brought up. So we are now, in my mind, at an impasse here where we can either say this is not working or we can move forward. Now, I've been in this predicament before. Most of the people in this council have seen this over the years. My thought on it is we're going to forge ahead with Fight Underground. We're going to bury the past. What you've seen in the last 4 months, we've done a lot of talking, a lot of bringing maybe the negative to light when we shouldn't have. But now I think that the council, for as it stands, is going to need to step up and do part of what it was intended to do when Quinn Magnum and myself originally decided we were going to assemble this council, and that is not just criticize these young wrestlers, but put our money where our mouth is and see if we can lift these young wrestlers up, bring them into being the future of this business. In the 20 plus years that I've been around in the Pittsburgh scene, and the 30 plus years I've been in the business, I've seen a lot of people serve their own agendas and go into business for themselves. That is no longer going to happen here at Fight Underground. If that is what you're here for, just turn in your keys now, because you're not going to be invited back to do business. That's not how this is going to go. So moving forward, this is exactly what we're going to do. So again, I have a very small panel with me tonight. This is not the full council. There's still some other people who are going to still be around. And like I said, there's going to be some faces that you haven't seen for a while and that you won't see any longer. First thing I'm going to do is I want to talk to you, Dean Radford. I want to get your opinion. You were not on the Fight Council last week, as I wasn't. We both saw afterwards some of the fallout. What's going on, Dean?
Yeah, man. Hey, the thing it comes down to, Paul, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, the way that wrestling keeps going is by evolving. And just imagine if we could all make that happen. The way I look at it, and it's, I'm not, I don't hold secrets. I don't really hold back on too much. But, I think that the reason why I wanted to be a part of Fight Underground is because the evolution of wrestling needs to continue, because we love this business. So by loving this business, find a way to make it evolve. Well, you can't make wrestling evolve if you're going to just not do anything to help it. So if we come on here and just drag it down, don't even have the focus, I mean, not talking about what the focus is, which is Fight Underground, and just going all over the place, it really just pisses me off about it, but it is what it is. Moving forward, I mean, we got to just worry about what we have in our hands. This is just a special group of people on the council, on the roster, men and women. We have some of the top talent, and some you haven't even seen yet. We have some of the young talent who some might consider the shits. But guess what? Just like you and I, we all started as the shits. So if you don't get an opportunity somewhere, how are you supposed to be better? And with the panel that we have and the roster that we have, we're going to be able to build something special with Fight Underground.
Yeah, I got to agree with you 100% there, Dean. You know, a lot of guys get complacent. You know, they don't want to step out of the past. I mean, take a look at some advancements that we've have seen recently. You have RWA. You know, they started off very small. They're now, in the past 5 years, one of the top promotions in the area. And Fight Underground right now, we are in that position. We've crossed over 100,000 views on our content in our matches that we've put out, and we have yet to sell a ticket. So we've got something here. We have got something special here. I mean, 9 matches, over 100,000 views, and not one ticket has been sold. So people are looking to Fight Underground. I got Stacy Hunter here with us again this week. Stacy, I know you were somewhat involved in the conversation last week. Just want to get your position on what's gone on and where we're going to go with this.
Yeah, I was part of the mess last week. But props to Boomer. He did his best. I agree with Dean that the business is evolving. There are some aspects of our past that we need to, continue with as not tradition, but more of as a respect thing for the business. But we can't live in the past. We have to move forward. We can't be babysitting everybody else in the area. We need to be babysitting our group of people, worrying about what we're doing and pushing our guys. And I think we started to get a little off track with that, and now we're going to get back on track.
That's right. You know, when we first told all these competitors as they came in and were, got their invites and they went underground, that when you started in Fight Underground, you're 0-0. I think that's where we start. You know, we seem to forget, I think, for a little while, we were starting to go backwards, the past. We told the competitors to forget their past. Well, I think it's time that we forget the pettiness of the past and start moving towards the future. Dash Bennett is also with us here again this week. Dash, I want to get your thoughts on what has transpired in the last 4 months, and particularly in the last few weeks, and where in the world do you stand on all this? Where do you see this going?
Well, you have to kind of walk a fine line when you have a roster of mainly young talent and a committee or council of veterans. We have to remember that at the end of the day, we're on this council to serve this roster and to serve the members of Fight Underground. We're not here to push our own agendas. We're not here to get over our own egos. We're here to make the in-ring product better. And that's, I think, something that we got away from recently, and something that we need to put a focus back on, because at the end of the day, those views aren't for us. Those tickets that are going to be sold once we're able to run live shows again aren't going to be for us. They're going to be for the fighters in the ring, and that's where we need to put our focus. Yeah,
I mean, you gotta check the ego at the door. I mean, I know myself, I've been accused of being a huge egomaniac in this business, and to a degree, that's true. But I've always put the show first and foremost, and I think most of the people on this panel have done the same exact thing. Now, as we said, we had some other people who couldn't quite do that. So we're going to have to, if that means paring down the council, then that's what we're going to have to do. The egos need to be checked at the door, because again, like Dash just said, the tickets being sold, they're not coming to see us. They're not coming to see Paul Atlas. They're not coming to see Dean Radford, Dash Bennett, Stacy Hunter. We're not going to be the ones in the ring. But we need to make sure that our fighters are prepared to be in that ring, and that is where the council needs to switch gears. And rather than talk about some of their shortcomings, which, they need to know what those are. What are we going to do now as a council? What are we going to do as veteran presence to make sure that these young fighters, and the small sampling you've seen, that is exactly that. It's just a small sample size of Fight Underground. We still have plenty fighters that you haven't even seen debut yet. Let's talk about somebody like a John Rhoden, okay? He signed to Fight Underground. This man is a former heavyweight champion in RWA. He defended against some of the best competition they have. Now, can he come to Fight Underground, which is basically a combination of some of the greatest indie talent and some of the biggest upcoming talent? So, I'm going to throw that out there. What do you think? Somebody like that. Okay, let's now talk about what we can do to make John Rhoden a better wrestler. We're just going to use this as an example. Dean Radford, if John Rhoden came to you today and said, hey, what do I need to do to step up my game? How would you handle that?
Paul, John Rhoden is the perfect example of the drive that every young aspiring wrestler in any area should have. That kid, he's been in the business for a little bit. He's not new. In fact, he's got a little bit under his belt, but he went from, eating shit and not taking care of himself to what he is now. He calls himself the Juggernaut. That dude walks to the ring with purpose. And the one thing that I would tell him to help him keep excelling, because obviously his own personal drive has got him to the top elsewhere, I would say keep up that fight, kid. Keep being better than everybody else who doesn't want to go the extra mile. When you're going to the gym at 1 a.m. and you're going home and you're going to bed and you're waking up at 5 because you got to go to work the next day and you got to eat crappy, shitty, healthy meals because that's how you want your body to look. That's John Rhoden. That's the kid that everybody should want to be, because he went a long way, a long road. And Paul, as well as I do, those long roads when you're not comfortable with your skin in this business cause anxiety, depression, all these things that get in our heads. But if you can't walk in your own pair of boots, then you don't make it in this business. That kid changed his boots, and he's walking pretty damn good. So I would pat him on the back and say, you keep that fight that you have, and you keep scratching and crawling. He's paying to go to these camps, It's that stuff that helps you go. So I would tell John Rhoden, you keep scratching and crawling to be better than everybody else, because that's what you're doing right now.
All right, very good. Dash Bennett, John Rhoden comes to you. What do I need to do to improve my game? What's your advice?
I mean, first of all, I've been in the ring with John Rhoden. I've been in locker rooms with John Rhoden very early on in his career. He was an average at best tag team wrestler. He worked his ass off to get better as a competitor, as a worker, as a human being, and I have all the respect in the world for that. So when we talk about some of the roster being inexperienced or some of the roster starting at the bottom, that's a classic example of how to take yourself to the next level and become someone that everyone is talking about. As far as John Rhoden goes, my advice for him, I don't know that I have advice. I want to just get to know the guy a little more. I want to understand what he's all about, what makes him tick, and just kind of understand where he is in his life and his head in this business, and what I can do to help push that along further, because he already has the drive. He already positioned himself to be a top guy. It's just about understanding what makes him tick and what can be done to get him to that next level. And quite honestly, I think that goes for a lot of the guys here in Fight Underground, and women too. We've been talking about the Rev as the number one guy. We've been talking about Roy Nicole as the number one woman. They're not necessarily people that need to improve. They're ones that just need to keep on the same path they are, and it's about understanding what you can do to get that rapport with them and help drive them to keep them taking that drive to get better.
Okay, very good. Stacy Hunter, I'm going to kind of switch gears. Same question, but let's say Tatiana Rose comes to you, being that you work mainly with our Viragos. She's a young lady. She's only had a few matches. She says, Stacy Hunter, I want to get to the next level. What's your advice to somebody like Tatiana Rose?
To get out there more. Put yourself out there, get more bookings, go where you can, try to get into other states, keep training, seminars, talk to the other members of the council, get advice from all of them, because each one of us can offer her different bit of advice. Sure, there's a lot of other stuff I'd tell her. I just can't think of it right now.
Okay, Stace, hey, you're hitting the nail on the head there. You know, I mean, personally, if it was me and it was any member of our current roster, you know, I would be telling them, you know, yeah, you got to get yourself out there. You know, you got to make sure you stay and work on that look. You got to look like a wrestler. You got to look like a competitor. You can't look like a guy who would be sitting in the front row. You know, you want to get to a point in your career like I was at one point, where everybody wants your spot on that roster, and your confidence is at the point where you say, you want my spot, come get my spot, but I'm not going to hand it to you either. So this is the kind of things that these guys need to do, and they need to learn, and this is what we need to do as a council, you know, to make sure that our product, Fight Underground, and the fighters we put out there, you know, that's what they know, and that's what, you know, we are the ones who can give this advice to them, and that's what this council was originally intended for. I see we have a late joiner here. RPW has come into the conversation. So RPW, I want to bring you in here and kind of give you the two-part question. We've talked a little bit about how things kind of went off the rails here the last couple of weeks in Fight Underground, and I know you were part of that council meeting last week that kind of went south. You know, unfortunately, I wasn't there. You know, Boomer did everything he could to sub in for me, but it got a little crazy. So we're talking about putting all that behind us and moving forward. So I want to get your opinion on what you think and what you want to bring to the table as part of this council. And then we're going to give you the John Rhoden question as well, as if he came to you for advice, what advice would you give him to step up his game?
The conversation did go south last week. Sorry to be joining into this late. This weather is a bit crazy, and every road was closed on my way home today. But yeah, I think everybody on the council, I think everybody's passionate, and they absolutely love this business. And sure, topics do kind of jump around a little bit. So, you know, I take responsibility in my actions and leading some of the questions in the conversation and into the other departments. But, you know, going forward, I think we all need to focus on what the task is at hand, and that's getting our brand over, getting our guys over, and showcasing why there are people that are going underground, why we want Fight Underground to be the best company in the world. So I think going forward, I think we're in the right path by, you know, changing the conversation a little bit, and I'm happy to be a part of it. The John Rhoden deal, I think he needs to just keep his eye on the prize, stay focused, stay determined, and keep putting in the work. He's on par to have the total package. I haven't seen much of him in the last year or so, but everything I've heard about and everything that I've seen on social media, he's headed in the right direction. So I'm looking forward to seeing the hurdles that he will overcome to potentially be one of the top guys in Fight Underground.
Okay, very good. Thank you, RPW. And, you know, we're using John Rhoden as an example here, and also I threw out young Tatiana Rose. But it's not just to these two individuals. And I know a lot of our roster watches these council meetings each and every week. You know, and I know there's some of them have been a little disgruntled, and they put their own videos out as a response to some of the stuff that's gone on. You know, maybe some of that was justified, but each and every one of you who are watching this, each and every member of our roster, if you're watching it live now, if you're going to watch the replay back later, my advice to each and every one of you is to, just like each member of this council said, the advice that we would give to John would be the advice I would give to the Rev. that I would give to AJ Alexander, to Warhorse, to Ronnie Nicole, Shauna Reed, Tatiana, Scarlett, if she doesn't snap your face off because she's a little hard to talk to sometimes, but hey, we love you, kid. But this is the type of advice that I would give to each and every member of this roster should they come up to you and say, hey, what do I need to do? And they need to know that as council members, they can do this. They can come up to us and ask for this advice. So, that is why we're doing what we're doing tonight. We're putting I'm just going to call it what it is, the bullshit of what's gone on over the last few weeks and months aside, so that every member on that of our roster knows these people on the council are here to make you better wrestlers, and that's exactly what they need to know that we're here for. So I think each and every one of you, and I'm going to ask one final time, is that something that you guys are willing to do? Are we willing to change gears here and now? Dean Radford, what do you think, buddy? You on board?
Man, I'm on board. It's, there's so much potential out there, and anybody what comes to me with anything, I have openly said before, with Brohemoth, step up to the plate, kid, and maybe we can walk side by side. I'm waiting for it. Anybody out there, there's so much potential, and I will gladly sit down. You want to learn how to talk shit? I'll teach you how to talk shit. You want to learn how to put a hold on? I'll teach you how to put a hold on. But there's guys who can come in and steamroll too. Like, I am up for it. I'm down. I think that's what we need to do.
All right. Very good. Stacy Hunter, putting you on the hot seat, kid. You in?
Oh, I'm definitely in. I want the people to come to me, ask questions, because I can tell you what not to do in the wrestling business. Because if there's anybody that can teach that, it's definitely me. I want to be there to help these people. I want to try to give them some advice. I mean, I know I sucked as an actual wrestler, but I was a pretty decent manager. And I got to watch a lot of matches up close, and I can give the advice and things that I saw, in the match and go, hey, you might want to do this a little bit differently, or do it this a little differently. So I kind of know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the young lady who's gotten more pink slips than Victoria's Secret, unfortunately. But hey, it made you a better person, and a better person in the business. So, Dash
Yes,
Bennett,
it did.
hot seat, brother. You in or what?
I'm in, because I came back to the business last year after a 6-year hiatus, and one of the reasons why I decided to come back was to give back. In the time that I've been back, I've been able to connect with quite a few members of the Pittsburgh wrestling scene, some in Fight Underground, some outside of Fight Underground, and try to offer advice and just make people better wherever I can. I will. You know what? I'm going to put over someone. I was part of the problem with the negativity of before. I went to town verbally on Vance Strader and even questioned if he belonged here in Fight Underground. And when I was done saying what I had to say about him, he outreached me and said thank you. And that started a conversation where I gave him a lot of advice of, here's what some things that I think you could do. Here's a challenge that I have for you to get out there and work on your promo. And, I think a lot of good came out of it. Not just me, but a lot of the members of the Fight Underground Council have that experience and that wisdom that we're waiting to pass on, if someone's just willing to take the step and not even come to us and ask for it, but just listen and accept it when we come to you. I mean, we've been talking about mentoring people, and I think Boomer Payne has done a good job with Zeke Mercer, but I'm looking at the roster of Fight Underground, and there's probably half the people on it that I see, and I am just thinking, here's something you could do. Here's something that I could do to help you. I would love to be able to work on that relationship with some of these people.
All right, thank you, Dash. RPW, gonna put you in the hot seat now. What's up, brother?
I am 100% on board. I'm all about helping the young generation, because when I broke in, it was all about the veterans that worked with me to get me to the point where I'm at today. And I'm going to echo exactly what Dash said about wanting to help a lot of the younger guys. And there's a diamond in the rough, and I'm saying it now, in Phil Archer. You know, talk about mentoring somebody. That's one guy that I would go above and beyond for. From the days when he first broke in, he's come to me a lot, and we've sat down in locker rooms and we would talk for hours. And that kid's got so much heart, so much passion, that I want to see that kid succeed and do huge things with Fight Underground. So I'm on board, and I'm looking forward to helping him along, as well as a lot of other guys and girls on the roster.
All right, thanks, RPW. And just so that the people out there know that I'm not above reproach, I'm going to put myself in the hot seat and say, without a doubt, as the fight director, I am 100% in on this deal. You know, a few years, probably about 5 years ago, when I had to have my knee replaced and I had to leave the business, wasn't exactly the send-off that I wanted in the business. And yeah, sure, I got a little bit bitter about what went on, and then I got a call from classic Chris Helmsley about a year later, asking me to come in and mentor him. Naturally, being the vet that I was, the first thing I did was contact Quinn Magnum and say, yo, dude, are you on board with this, what this kid is saying? Because, you know, I know sometimes people do go into business for themselves. You know, when Quinn said, dude, I'd love to have you come back in, you know, I thought to myself, you know, I may not be able to perform in the ring anymore, but I still have tons of knowledge that I can give to these young kids, each and every one of them. So what I would say to each and every member of this roster is, you all know how to get a hold of me on social media. You know how to get a hold of me when we're at an event. Don't hesitate to come up and ask. We want to put you all on the right path. So right now, with the members we've got here tonight, we're all pretty much on board. I know some of the members who aren't here tonight are also on board, you know, even though we haven't actually heard them speak out, but we will in the next few weeks and months as we do prepare to lay down Area 2, our next set of matches, hopefully in the next few weeks. We can get that. We're going to get that together. We're doing a lot of things behind the scenes now to make that. But this is going to be the opportunity leading up to and even at Area 2 for these young talent to jump in and you know, get some advice. And as a matter of fact, one specific way that I can think of that we could even do this in the upcoming weeks, we can do something similar to what WWE has done in the past, only with their shows. We can do with council members. Hey, who are you looking to? Draft yourself a team. Singles wrestler, tag team wrestler, women wrestlers. Who would you want on your team if you had to draft a team? You know, what would you do? Who would you pick? Why you would pick them? And what your philosophy would be on that person. So this is what I'm proposing. I'm proposing we can do a council draft with specific members of the council who we think can highlight these kids. Dean Radford, brother, a draft. What do you think about it?
Oh, dude, that sounds good. I'm in for that. Listen, I already got my picks. I'm ready to go. Let's do it. I guarantee you my picks is going to blow people's minds.
Oh, well, yeah. Hey, that's even going to be a random draw. So you might have some people in mind, but that don't mean they're going to get on your yeah, hey. It'll matter where you slot in. So, yeah, it's a little out there, but RPW, what do you think? We do a draft?
I'm down. I'm always up for trying to come up with my own team. I mean, tag team specialist here. I think I can bring a lot to the table, especially with tag team wrestling. Maybe teach some young guys a few tricks. I'm in. Count me in. How about that?
All right. Dash Bennett, we're looking at what about the draft concept? What are you thinking? I mean, hey, it could put you against, it could pitch you against other council members. Could pitch you against your good friend RPW for all you know.
Well, essentially what you're doing is creating a competition. And as far as that's concerned, there are no friends. There's no family. I don't care who you are. If I'm going to be drafting my own team, my representatives, members of the Fight Underground roster that are part of my team, you better believe there's going to be some competitiveness. I am going to look forward to them kicking your picks' asses, and we're all going to be laughing our way to the bank.
Dash, I beat you once. I'll do it again.
Dean, I will draft someone that will slap the taste out of your mouth. I don't even.
Yeah, he's slapping nothing, bud. Get out of here.
All right. Stacy Hunter, what do you think? What's this? How about this? Lady on the council, what do you think about a draft, girl?
I think Dash needs to watch because he forgets that I know how he thinks. So I could also steal a pick from him before he gets to it. I like the idea. I already have a couple names in mind. Let's bring it on.
All right. Like I said, this could be a little fun for the council itself too. You know, I mean, who do you pick? Who do you not pick? Is there somebody there that you would pick and then somebody else picks them? You know, where are we going to go with that? I mean, what are we going to? How are we going to? And I'll tell you what. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to start out with 8 council members. Okay. The people on this on the panel here, not myself. I'm going to oversee it. But the other people that are here with me tonight, they're going to be involved in this. We got a couple other people who are going to be involved. So what you might want to start doing is you might want to start doing your homework on the roster. I mean, I know we all came in at different times as far as the council was. I've been here since day one, so obviously I've been able to see, you know, the talent list as it was being presented. Some of the talent we haven't even seen yet, as we stated before. So my advice to you guys here tonight, you know, maybe go back and watch those tapes from Area 1. Get out there on YouTube and see some of our other members who we haven't seen yet. You know, start doing your homework because it's going to come down in the next few weeks. I think this is something we need to do. And my advice to the roster members out there, you need to start hitting up the council and let us know you're down for this. You want to be involved. You want to be drafted. Because, you know, if you're not going to show the enthusiasm coming with it, then, you know, back of the line for you, man, you know. Personally, the way I'm looking at things here, I think everybody's going to sleep on Stacy Hunter's picks because they're thinking, hey, she's a girl. What does she know about fantasy football drafts? Because that's kind of what we're doing here, you know, when you get right down to it. But, hey.
I've seen Stacy do some messed up shit, Paul.
Well, that could be a topic for another night.
Yeah, for when we go off the rails again.
So,
you know, I know that we have a lot of members of the Fight Underground roster watching this as we speak. So I want to challenge you guys. Let us know. Let us know who you're interested in. Specifically, I want to know who is willing to take this journey with me. Who wants to be great? Who wants to take over Fight Underground? Because I guarantee if you stick with me, we're going to do something that's bigger than Fight Underground, bigger than Pittsburgh wrestling. I am all in on this. I guarantee you I am going to assemble a team that is going to take over.
Dash, what are you talking about? What are you trying to sell to these people? That's the biggest problem. You said Pittsburgh wrestling. Screw Pittsburgh wrestling. If you want to get on board with somebody who's been around the world and back, you need to call Dean Radford. I'm going to get you going, bud. Not Dash Bennett. You're crazy. Come on. Hit my DMs. Hey, you ain't got to pay to message me. Just hit the button.
Dean, I guarantee whoever your first pick is will not even compare to what I do with my third pick, how I build them up, make them even better than they are.
All right, RPW, we got some fire going here. What do you think, man?
Oh man, I'm excited. I've see my strategy's always been the same. You let everybody claw their way out, and then you just come from behind and you steal the diamond in the rough. And I'll just let them fight it out. It's okay. It's okay. Because I'll make anybody a star.
There you go. We're just getting sharp here already. Stace, like I said, they could be sleeping on you, kid. What do you think? What's your strategy?
I'm going to have to kind of agree with Potter's strategy. Just let everybody else fight it out and see what happens here. I have a couple names. You know, if I don't get them, I have a few more. I'm going to keep watching tape, see, you know. But I definitely think you guys are going to be surprised by my picks.
All right. I mean, we have a deep roster right now. You know, like I said, the 9 matches that we've seen previously, that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot of special talent out there. There's a lot of talent that has been successful in other areas. Like I said, I'm not going to be one of the ones doing the drafting as the fight director. But if it was me, I know I would be looking for somebody. I would be looking for a well-rounded individual as far as their styles go. You know, somebody who can brawl, somebody who can wrestle. They've got that special look. They've done the traveling. They've put in the time and they've put in the work. Uh, you know, and then there's also those young upstarts who, you know, maybe they haven't been out there and gotten quite a season, but you see that little something in them, you know, and that's basically from top to bottom what we have as a roster. You know, we've got people who've been in the business for 10 years. We got people who've been in the business for 10 minutes. So this is, you know, something, you know, all right, let's throw it out this way. Okay. We all talk about the top seeds, you know, the top, we all want the top ones. What if you had to go after that one person who maybe hasn't been here that long, but does show a little something? Is there a possibility that you can turn that person into something? Uh, Dean Radford, what do you think? Can you do it?
Absolutely. I mean, heck, just straight coming to mind right now. And don't take us the wrong way, you know, Dash. Don't go thinking you're getting an edge on me. I'm not picking anybody, but just look at somebody like Arthur MacArthur. Look at that kid. He has so much potential. He's got a great look. He's got everything, but his in-ring needs some work. You're going to come out there wrestling like a carny. You need to come out like a carny. Don't be like everybody else. Be the guy to punch. Be the guy to kick. Be the guy to be strong in the ring. That's just, you know, my opinion. But not that I want to pick him.
No,
just opinion.
Well, hey, everybody's entitled to one. Yeah. So yeah, Dash, what do you think, man? If you had to go for that diamond, if you had to go for that diamond in the rough, for that one person who doesn't, you know, doesn't show a lot just yet, but you know he's got it in him, you think you could be up to that task?
Well, if you think that you're going to trick me into revealing my strategy, you're dead wrong. I have in mind exactly who I can mold, who I could shape, who I could turn into a winner, who I could turn into a champion. As far as I'm concerned, yeah, we have our top picks. We have, you know, we have the Rev, number one. We have Ronnie Nicole, number one in the women's division. John Rhoden, the number one prospect. They don't interest me. I want to take someone that I can turn into a winner and turn into a champion. That's exactly who I'm going to be looking for.
Dash, is John Rhoden the number one prospect, really? He's good, but he's the number one prospect.
The way people have been talking, you tell me who the number one prospect is that hasn't.
No, I'm not giving away my strategy. You better dig a little deeper with that shovel buzz, start looking at that roster. Shit.
Yeah, I think he may have tipped his hand just a little bit there. Now, not, you know, I don't know. RPW, if you had to go for somebody with, you know, of a lesser talent or lesser experience, do you think you could bring them to the top of Fight Underground, man? What do you think? You got it in you?
Well, 100%, absolutely. I'm all about coaching a young guy into greatness. I've done that with my entire wrestling career. That I've took a young guy just starting out, and I've taught him some tricks, and they've gone on to great success. So yeah, absolutely, 100%. I would love to take somebody that may be that guy that might be overlooked, maybe the girl that's been overlooked. I don't care. I'll take them on first. So yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure, hey, it's easy to go for the top, but can you work somebody up from the bottom? Stace, what do you think about it? I mean, you know, everybody's thinking you're going to go with the Viragos. I know that everybody's got to be thinking that in the back of their mind. But maybe there's that one. Maybe there's that one Alpha King out there. You never know. What do you think, Stace? Could you take somebody from the bottom and bring them to the top?
Well, that's pretty much what I've been doing my entire career as a manager. I mean, Dash Bennett is perfect proof of that, you know. So I don't think I'd have any problem. Yeah, okay. I think I would have no problem with taking a young guy and helping him become a star.
All right. Yeah, I think we got one confident panel here so far tonight. And like I said, this is only about half of the people who are going to be doing this. You know, again, personally, I'm not involved in the draft, but hey, you know, I oversee a lot of what's going on, and you know, hey, I've done the same thing in my career. You take somebody who, you know, maybe has a little bit in them, but they don't know which direction they're going. You kind of bring them to the forefront a little bit. Dash, come on, buddy. The new era horseman. You got to admit that jump started your career, kid. I don't know if you would have been much more if it wasn't for that.
I'm gonna bite my tongue on that one.
I thought it was that it was his big claim to fame.
I'll say this: the turning point was Mantis versus Dash Bennett. I'm just saying that was the turning point.
I like how everyone likes to take credit for my success. Did you ever think at the end of the day it's me that's responsible for my success?
Dash, I'm pretty sure you got noticed when I lifted you up on my shoulders and threw you down through the mat.
Hey, you know what, Dean Radford? Why don't I draft you? I can teach you a few things.
Hold on. Why don't you slow down when you talk, because you started breaking up a little bit. All I heard was...
What you need to know is that I'm perfectly happy drafting you, Dean Radford. I could show you a thing or two.
Oh. You think so? Good luck, bud.
See, now this is what I'm talking about. We're talking about lifting people up and moving people through, and instead of just the opposite. That's what's going down here now. So, I think we're on the right path here with Pittsburgh Indie Wrestling. We're going to take it out of that dark age, and we're going to bring it back to the light. The guys and gals who aren't joining us here tonight, who are going to be involved in this draft. You've heard from these guys who are involved here, that are on here tonight, and they're already fired up. So I hope you guys are fired up too, because I'm telling you, this is going to be something different, something special. So far, everything we've done in Fight Underground has been different and has been special, and this is just going to bring to it. And I'm gonna bring it up again. Every member of the roster, you need to start hitting up these guys on the council and let them know what's going on. Dean, if you had to give the entire roster some advice on what to do about that, what would you give them as advice on how to handle looking to be drafted?
Paul, time is money and money is time. So what it comes down to is if you're not investing in yourself, then nobody's going to know. So you have to get invested with this draft. You have to invest yourself in one of these council members that's going to be a part of this. Myself, obviously. But what it comes down to is you want to be a loser, you go to Dash. You want to be an upstart, I guess you go to Stacy. Potter's the underdog. Potter's been an underdog since he walked. I'm sorry, RPW, my bad. Since he walked through the door of professional wrestling, he's been an underdog. I'm telling you, listen, you got so much talent on this council. I don't even know who the other people are, but I'm going to win. Listen, I can't tell you enough. It's going down. I'm going to knock my earpiece out. I'm so excited. Listen, this is going to be the upstart of the company, okay? I know we've seen some matches. I know we've seen some great talent. I know we've seen some good stuff. But this is what's going to separate the ones who want to make it and the ones who just want to sit back and say they're a part of something. And guess what? When you sit back and say you're a part of something, bye. You're not going to be here long. Bye. DMs, they're free. Hit me up. I got you.
All right, Dash. A lot of words being thrown around here. If you had to talk to these kids on the roster, what do they got to do to be looked at as being wanting to be drafted?
I'm right here. Open your eyes, open your mouth, come to me, tell me, yes, Dash Bennett, I believe in you. I want to be a part of something bigger than Pittsburgh wrestling. I want to be part of something bigger than Fight Underground, than anything else. I believe in you, and I believe you can take me to that next level. That's what I want to hear. And if I don't hear it, I'm going to do it anyways.
RPW, what's your advice to these young kids?
Separate yourself from everybody else. Make yourself stand out. And that's what I'm here to do, make you stand out. So my DMs are always open. I'm easily reachable. Just look me up on social media. We'll talk, and I'll help guide you to greatness.
All right, Stace, make that pitch.
I definitely think that I can help someone. I think that the guys and the girls need to put themselves out there. Not only into my DMs, make promos, put things out there. Tell us who you want. Let other people know who you want. I really think they need to speak up more. And we've been saying that for weeks and weeks, that we want to see more from our roster. This is the perfect opportunity for them to show us more.
Okay, I got to agree 100% with that. You know, that's just it. And you know, when we say we want to see your promos and that, you don't have to cut a promo on your council member, because you know what? At the end of the day, you ain't getting in the ring with one of us. We're on this side now. You know, we are not going to get in the ring anytime soon. I know I'm not. That's for damn sure. So you know, if you're going to cut that promo on what you're going to do to separate yourself and make yourself number one in the company. What are you going to bring to Fight Underground? What would make Paul Atlas want to have you on my team, on my roster, in my promotion, as far as Fight Underground goes? Because Fight Underground belongs to all of us. You know, all the members of this council. That's what we're here for. You know, it's Quinn Magnum's dream, but we're all helping that dream come true. So what are you going to do to separate yourself from the pack? Cutting a promo on a council member ain't going to do it. I can tell you that right now. Cutting a promo on how you're going to be the number one person in this promotion, be it man, be it tag team, be it woman. That's what we want to see. So it's cutting the promos. It's asking for advice. It's showing that you want to do something. You know, you can, and it's not just in your words. It's going to be in your actions too. Okay. There's been some things, you know, a lot, as much as things were derailed in the last couple of weeks, there's also been some hard truths that were said. You need to get yourself in the gym on a regular basis. You need to get yourself some gear that looks professional. You need to get yourself out there, and you know, the world is slowly starting to open up, and bookings are there for the taking. You know, go get some bookings that you can put some stuff on tape that we can look at. That is exactly what we're looking for. So, you know, if it's me looking to draft somebody, which again, like I said, I'm offering up my 2 cents on all this. This is what that's exactly what I'd be looking for. Do you have the look? Do you have the desire? Can you cut the promo? Can you do the in-ring work? Because, you know, you could be the best in-ring wrestler, but if you can't cut a promo in today's day and age, man, it's going to be hard. You know, you got to be able to talk too. So, you know, and the subject last week was supposed to be separating gimmick from reality, and it didn't quite end up the way it was supposed to be. And this is the last time I'm going to bring that part of it up. But to me, separating gimmick from reality is you need to be that gimmick 24/7. So that gimmick should be a lot of what you are and who you are. You know, people say, what is, you know, Paul Atlas's gimmick? Paul Atlas's gimmick is Paul Atlas. I'm Paul Atlas 24 hours a day. Dean Radford is Dean Radford 24 hours a day. You know, what you see when I'm out in that ring is what you see when I'm in the back, when I'm at home, when I'm out to eat. That's who it is. That's who I am. So you've got to present yourself in that professionalism. So that's my advice to the roster right now. Hit up these guys. Show them your professionalism. Let's do this. Let's take Fight Underground to the very next level, because we've already started by doing some really good things. Okay. And now it's time to take that next step, to enter that next phase of Fight Underground. And that next phase is not even just necessarily hitting Area 2 to put some more matches out. It's how we're going to get there and how the individuals are going to get there and who we're going to use. Because as we've said before, everybody who you've seen revealed, be it going underground or the new challengers, that doesn't mean that your spot's solidified in Fight Underground. And now with this draft coming up, this is where we're going to see. We're going to separate it out. We're going to separate out the people who want to be here, who want to do something special, from the people who just said, hey, looks like something cool, let me give it a try. So
That's one of the things that I like most about Fight Underground is we're not just giving anybody a spot. It's not like it was back in 2001, 2002, where just anybody could come out of the front row, get in the ring, and perform. Now you have to fight for your spot. You have to make it known that you want it. You just can't be some big blob just showing up every once in a while and not putting any effort in.
It's a little bit of throwback to the days of old. You know, when the spot, you know, your position was earned, and once you earned it, there was about 10 guys behind you that wanted to take it. So that's what we're looking for, and that's where we're going with this. So guys, you guys got to start doing your homework. The other members who are going to be involved in this, who aren't on with us this week, start doing your homework, because now this is where the council is really going to show what it was assembled for, and that is to put out the very best talent in indie wrestling, and not just in Pittsburgh indie wrestling. Okay, we're going to branch out. We already have. We had the match in North Carolina. We don't have the footage up yet, but the match took place 2 weeks ago in North Carolina. We're going to be expanding throughout PA. We're going to be going all over. So that is what we're doing. That is what we're looking to do. Talent, all I can say is, put your best foot forward, because these next few weeks and months are going to be very interesting. That is about all the time we have for this week. So I just want to wrap it up by thanking the council members who joined me this week. We're a little more focused than possibly we have been, and we're going to keep that focus going. So we will be back next week at 8 o'clock, as we always are, to delve some more into this upcoming draft and talk about some of the other business of Fight Underground. So for myself, Paul Atlas, and the members of the council, Stacy Hunter, RPW, Dean Radford, and Dash Bennett, I want to thank you guys, and thanks for watching.